Okay, so today let us discuss the MCQs or the types of MCQs that comes in MAC-out examinations, right? For example, we will be discussing today the odd semester exam of 2019. So let's start. So you see the first question that came here in the MCQ, right? It was previously it was 1 marks each, and you have to attend 10 questions from, say, sometimes it is 12 or 13. So in the last time, actually this was the last examination that was held offline. After that there was no examinations held. See, so the question is the energy required to remove an electron from outermost shell of an isolated gaseous atom. What is it? So this is, we know that it is energy required to remove an electron. That means it is ionization energy. So D is the answer. So as you can see, the standard or the level of the questions is not that tough, right? Mostly easy, and it will be easier than the questions that we discussed, the MCQs that we discussed in our classes, right? Every day the quiz you used to attend, right? The level of those questions are much higher than these MAC-out questions. So no need to worry. So this was pretty easy. So see the next one, the inversion temperature of Joule-Thomson coefficient. Now first of all you have to know what is inversion temperature and Joule-Thomson coefficient, right? So in the Joule-Thomson effect, right, whenever you actually expand a gas, right, then there is a cooling, right, and there is a point where the inversion takes place. So that means there is a heating on expansion. So that is called inversion temperature, right? And Joule-Thomson coefficient actually changes its sign at that temperature, means it turns from negative to positive, Joule-Thomson coefficient. Okay, so it's denoted like this, you will find in the book. So that means what? At inversion temperature it changes the sign. That means it is 0 at inversion temperature, right? So just use your common sense also, then you can attend all the questions. Next, see, if uncertainty in position and momentum are equal, the uncertainty in velocity is, right? Now for this you have to do a small calculation, right? Suppose, what is the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle? So you have del x, that is the uncertainty in position, and del p, that is the uncertainty in momentum, and that is, okay, just let me do it like this only, right? Let me equate it, right? So it is h by, say, 4 pi. Okay, now if it is h by 4 pi, what it is saying? The question says that the uncertainty in position and momentum are equal. That means our here and del p is equal. Now in place of del p, what you can write? You can write uncertainty velocity into mass. Fine. Now that means del v into m, and again del v into m equals to h by 4 pi, right? Or del v square equals to h by m square 4 pi, or delta v, or that is uncertainty in velocity, equals to 1 upon m 2 and root over h by pi, isn't it? So what is the answer? So this one will be the answer. Okay. Okay, next one is from coordination chemistry, right? So it says that for transition metal octahedral complexes, the choice between high spin and low spin electronic configuration arises only for what configuration? Okay, now as it is shown that it is octahedral, let us quickly do it. So this is our T2G level, and this is EG level, okay, in octahedral field. Now see 1 2 3, there is no other choice other than high spin. So high spin is the only choice. Only high spin is the choice, right? Let us see. 1, 2 again comes under only high spin, right? And 8 and 9 we'll consider it together. Let's see. Now from 4 and 7 you have a choice. You can either put it the fourth electron here, or you can put it here in the T2G level, depending on this delta, right? So there is a choice. Similar with 5, similar with D6 and D7 also, right? So from D4 to D7 you have the choice between high spin and low spin configuration. Now once D7 is there, then the next is D8 configuration. Then again there is no choice, right? See, 5, 8. So this is the only possible configuration for D8, and similar for D9 also. So our answer is B, D4 to D7, right? Okay, again a very easy one, right? This is again from this molecular orbital theory, right? So which one of the following correctly represents the formation of bonding molecular orbital from a atomic orbitals having functions psi a and psi b? That means what? See, these you can directly say, right? We already know that if there is a two wave functions, they interact with each other, there can be constructive interference and destructive interference. Constructive means they have this psi a plus psi b, whereas destructive means psi a minus psi b. So in this case our bonding molecular orbital will be formed by psi a plus psi b. Okay, now we move on to spectroscopy, right? This is a question from spectroscopy. IR spectra is always done for functional group, right? This is a very good spectra for organic functional groups. You can easily identify them, right? Number of protons is done by NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance. Nature of nuclei is done by Mossberg spectroscopy. And unsaturation, okay, unsaturation can also be detected to some extent by IR, but mostly it is done by UV spectroscopy, right? So for this the answer is functional group. Okay, what is the fingerprint region? So fingerprint region, you have to remember it. So IR actually the whole range of infrared is in centimeter inverse. If you say it's 4000 to 400, right? This is the whole range. This is the whole range of IR, right? Okay, now this is the fingerprint region, right? Our 400 centimeter inverse to 1600 centimeter inverse, right? This is the region where it is called fingerprint region. Why it is called fingerprint region? We know that as in our case of our for humans, the fingerprint is unique from one person to another. So for each compound the spectrum in this region is also unique, right? You can identify them. So that's why this is called fingerprint region, right? But at the same time the peaks are also very complicated, and it is very difficult to distinguish which functional group or for what it is there. Okay, so the 8th question is, during the motion, if the center of gravity of molecule changes, the molecule possesses what type of energy, right? Okay, now this is also from spectroscopy, right? Molecular spectroscopy. Now it says the center of gravity changes. Suppose this is A, B, a molecule is there, right? And suppose say this is the center of gravity, right? Now if it vibrates, right? If it vibrates, the center of gravity will not change because it will vibrate on both sides. Now if it rotates also, suppose if it rotating, right, then also it will not, the center of gravity will not change. If it is rotating in this direction, then also it will not change. But if it translational energy, translate means suppose the molecule now moves from this position to here, it is translating, or this position to here. So the center of gravity of the molecule is changing, right? So that's why this is the answer. Then it processes translational energy. Next is the strength of van der Waals forces depends on, right? There are three choices and the last one is D. Actually this is the answer, all of these, right? So always remember, van der Waals forces depends on size of the molecule. Larger the molecule, larger is the van der Waals forces. Molecular, it also depends on molecular structure. Suppose the branch and this one, so this is say butane, N-butane, and if you have say the structural isomer, say isobutane or 2-methyl propane, so they are structural isomers, but these has much higher van der Waals forces, and that's why the boiling point is also higher for this N-butane than the isomer, right? This one, the branched isomer, right? So molecular structure also influences these van der Waals forces, right? And of course number of electron spaces. More the number of electrons are present and larger the size, right? So there is possibility of formation of dipoles, more dipoles, and van der Waals forces also increases. So all of these will be the answer. Okay, now we have a question from thermodynamics, right? So in which of the following reaction del H equals to del U? That means change in enthalpy and change in internal energy is same, right? Now for this we have to remember the relation between del H and delta U. Sorry, this is plus delta Ng RT. What is delta Ng? Delta means of course the change, N is the number of moles, so change in number of moles of these gaseous products, right? So in this case there will be, this is the relation. So in these cases where this delta Ng equals to 0, that means there is no change in the number of moles of gaseous products or reactants. There is no change between the number of moles between products and reactants, which is gaseous, right? Then obviously then delta U equals to delta H. Now let us examine all these equations. And another thing you must remember, so if there is no gaseous reactants or products, so obviously in those cases delta H is always equals to delta U, because there is no Ng possible, right? So let us now examine this. See, for the first case there is 1 mole of hydrogen, 1 mole of iodine, right? Both are gaseous, giving rise to a gaseous product which have 2 moles. So what is delta Ng here? So product is for product it is 2, and for reactant it is 1 plus 1, so it is 0. So for this case also delta H equals to delta U. For this one, see, there is no gaseous product, so for this one also this is correct, right? So we have two correct answers, right? Here in the number C, you see there is a gaseous reactant but no gaseous product, so obviously it has some value, right? So delta Ng, so this is not okay. Here also the number of moles is changing, so it has a positive value, right? So here also it is not equal. So in this case, in particular reaction, we have two choices that are correct, right? So if you get something like this, don't get confused. maybe the question itself is wrong. So in this case the university has posed a question which is wrong way, or which have both the answers. So each one of you, whoever attempts this question, will be awarded full credit, right? No need to worry about this. So these things happen, this is usual, nothing, no system is error free. So you can get this type of questions where you see that you can find both correct answer or none of them is correct. So no need to worry. So just keep your cool and answer the other questions, so you will get full marks for this. So just to know that if you have this kind of questions, delta u or delta g equal, so follow this type of procedure. Okay, now there is a tricky question, right? Water at 4 degrees centigrade under 1 atmospheric pressure, Cp minus Cv. So what is special about 4 degrees centigrade and water, right? You all know, I think you have all drawn this kind of graph. So if you have density here and temperature in this section, so you all have some curves like this where the density is maximum at 4 degrees centigrade, right? We all know this anomalous property of water. So density is maximum, that means for a given amount of water the volume is minimum, is it not, right? So what is density? Density is mass by volume. So if density is maximum, that means this volume is minimum at 4 degrees centigrade. Okay, it is minimum, that means further you cannot compress it, right? The volume is minimum, you cannot compress it more. So if you cannot compress it, then Cp minus Cv doesn't matter, right? So Cp and Cv will be equal. In that case, those cases Cp and Cv are equal for non-compressible substances. Not only this water at 4 degrees centigrade, if it is a block of iron also, right? So if you cannot compress it, so Cp minus Cv equals to 0. That means this is the answer. Okay, I think this is the last one. So you have 12 MCQs, out of which you have to attempt 10. But in this time there will be different scenario. But I think the pattern of the question will be similar. Right? Now, see, this is also from thermodynamics. In which of the following processes does the entropy decreases? Now, entropy decreases means the system is going from disorder to order, right? As you grow from disorder to order, your entropy decreases. So delta S is decreases, this decreases. So delta S is less than 0. See, now let us examine, if you dissolve NaCl in water, right? NaCl was of course crystalline. If you dissolve it, it will go in ions, so more disorder. So you more disorder, right? More disorder. That means delta S increases. So this is not the answer. Evaporation, again liquid to gaseous state, even more disorder. Now conversion of CO2 gas to dry ice. Dry ice means solid CO2. Of course, in this case from gaseous to solid, that means from disorder to order. So this will be our answer. So let us check the D also, because by this time you know that there can be more than 2 answers also, right? When 1 dozen marbles are taken out of a small bag and dropped underground, again it is going from order to disorder. So again the entropy is increasing. So this is the only case where entropy is decreasing, right? So these was the questions of for odd semester of 2019. I will make another video for the odd semester of 2018. If someone can supply me the questions of event semester 2018, I will make that too, right? So watch this, and if it is helpful, then I will be happy. Okay, thank you.